Hello, this is Noel Camilotes for Entertainment Media, and this is ChatterBox.
Hello, this is Noel Camilotes for Entertainment Media, and I'm here today at Anime Magic with MangoeCos. Welcome.
Hello.
So I've been going to the anime scene, the anime convention scene for a while. I've seen you a lot for many years. So you've been a very prominent cosplayer, especially here in the Midwest. What drew you to cosplay in the beginning?
So I started going to conventions in 2008. What really drew me to conventions was I was the loser in elementary school and high school. Back then people really didn't know what anime was, so I was like the weird kid that liked anime. And I remember watching specifically Haruhi Suzumiya.
Okay.
And that storyline follows a girl that feels like she hates normal life. She's like, I wish I could live in these animes or in these fantasy books. And I remember being like, I want to do that. And the closest way I could feel like that was if I was dressing up as the characters. So I started doing that. And it wasn't until after that I had found online that's its own thing, and that it was called cosplay.
Okay, being able to capture the essence of your characters and everything.
Yeah, like a real escapism kind of thing.
Did you have any inspirations or anyone you looked up to when you first got into cosplaying in the anime convention scene?
There were just a lot of people that I would see, scrolling social media. The social media scene wasn't that big at the time, so just people whose names I did not know, but I saw their photos over and over again, and I just thought it was so cool. Cosplayers that today, I maybe know, like I remember seeing Heza-chan a lot, Hana cosplay. Some of them are not active anymore because I've been around for a while, and they might have fallen into more real life stuff. But just the people who are really pioneering it, I just thought it was so cool.
Okay. Well, how do you feel has the cosplay scene changed from when you started? Because there's a lot you talked about already. Social media, that's a lot different. But how do you feel it's changed as a community since you started?
There are some changes that I wish were not there, like the pressure of social media to look perfect or you have to have a new cosplay every week. Don't rewear your cosplay. Have a new video every week. There's some negatives you could talk about, but I more so appreciate the positive that it's just so much more accessible. Like the idea that you could Amazon Prime an entire costume, I would have never ever believed you. I would have never believed you could do that. So I feel like it's just accessible for people who don't have time, they don't have a big budget, or they just have a lot of real life stuff going on. I love how accessible it is.
Okay. That's been a big help because I have seen a lot of people take advantage of that, be able to get the parts they needed in just a quick amount of time. Was it cosplay when you're trying to do a cosplay the night before? What's that term again? It's
con crunching.
Con crunching. Jeez.
Yeah.
So, well, one of the panels you are going to be doing this weekend is in terms of photography. One of the things that I'm curious about, how do you find what are the criteria that you use to find your own photographer in terms of for cosplay in general?
Mm-hmm. So I like to, every photographer is different. They all have different what they're comfortable with or their knowledge behind photography. I like to meet photographers through friends that have already, I'm like, okay, this photographer, so you can vouch for them. Also going on Discord servers for the convention, sometimes photographers will post there and be like, oh, I'm free. As far as my culling for photographers, I just want them to be like people I'm friends with. Like I've worked with photographers before that I didn't really know, and it was very like professional, and they were great. But like I like being able to shoot with a photographer, and then we go out to eat afterwards, and then we're sending each other memes on Discord. So being a friend to the photographer is very important to me.
Okay. When it comes to social media content, because that's a newer thing that I've started to notice, and it became a little bit bigger when we had those years when the pandemic was around. how do you come up with the ideas for the content that you do in terms of like both the short videos and not just the photo shoots, but like some of the content that you do?
So sometimes it's just like meme formats where, you know, you're watching something completely unrelated to anime, like you're watching a scene from Bob's Burgers, and you're like, actually, if it was these characters from Chainsaw Man, it would be really funny. So sometimes you just make content like that. Other times you just get inspired by other works of fandom, like fan art or fan fiction, and you're like, you know what, I want to recreate this, but this is my medium to do that.
Okay. One of the things I also remember seeing you as is a judge for quite a few cosplay competitions. What are the things that you look for when you're at those competitions as a judge in terms of how you like to grade competitors?
It's very important their experience with their craft. You know, you can't judge someone who's been doing it for 1 year versus someone who's been doing it for 10 years. Other things like, you know, fabric choices. Some people are very, very realistic with their fabric where, you know, oh, it takes place in this setting, so like historically they would have used a wool fabric. Whereas on the other hand, people are like, this isn't a fabric they would have used, but it's ornate and it's difficult to work with, and I wanted that challenge. So it's really hard to judge everyone on one playing field because there's so many things that you have to take into consideration. So as far as judging goes, judging is really, really hard. Sometimes people aren't really happy with judge results all the time, but there's a lot of things that go into it.
Okay. One question I love asking so many different people, and especially with the experience you had, I would be interested in asking this question. What advice do you have for anyone that wants to get into the cosplay scene, especially now, because it's a little different from when you started?
Yes.
So what advice do you have for anyone who wants to get into cosplay now in this time?
My advice is to start small. You know, focus on comfort, focus on, even if you have friends that like anime, you know, maybe like in your anime club at school, you know, focus on doing stuff with them. And you don't need a social media account. You don't need to make, oh, this is my cosplay specific Instagram or TikTok. You and your friends could just have your own Discord server and like post for each other and post your memes and cosplay for each other. So I definitely recommend starting small and not looking at the big name cosplayers and being like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Okay. Well, before we sign off, where can we find you at on social media?
So my handle on everything that I have an account for is MangoeCos. Mango ending with an E, so that's MangoE, and then Cos, COS.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. This is Ian Camilotes for Entertainment Media, and thank you for listening.